Johnny Davis live. We're here on September 20th, 2024, waiting on our special guest today, Mr. J.T. Smith, Crew JT out of Lake Norman Muay Thai. He is also owner of Hickory Muay Thai as well. So hopefully we're going to have him on in just a couple of minutes, and we're going to chat a little bit about, all kinds of stuff about the sport and about a little bit more about who JT is. Great guy. I definitely know that for sure. I hope all of you guys are enjoying this relatively kind of cloudy um, Friday, but it's kind of mellow. At least outside, it's not too cold, not too hot, so that's always good. But anyway, guys, let's dive right into it. And perhaps we'll have Mr. JT on in just a moment. He was having a couple of technical difficulties with some internet issues going on in that area. I see him come on, but his picture, again, is not showing up on the screen. So we got to figure out exactly what's going on there. But listen, let's talk about where we're going to be tomorrow. In fact, on the screen right now, we have where we will be in Mooresville, North Carolina tomorrow with Mr. J.T. Smith. He's been a long-time promoter of the IKF, PKB sparring tournaments and does a great job. Always a nice turnout there as well. Been seeing a lot of registrations coming in today, so it'll probably be a fun time on tomorrow there with Mr. Anthony Bowie and the rest of the IKF PKB team. So hopefully you guys will, join in if tomorrow, if you're around in the Mooresville, North Carolina area, that you'll come and check that out. Should be a lot of fun and some good entertainment. If you don't have anything else to do, even if you do, come on out to our event. Should be, a great sparring opportunity for a lot of people to get in some great experience. Also want to talk about a tournament that we have going on in Tennessee on tomorrow. It is called Battle of the Armory or at the Armory. It should be a very good event there with one of our new promoters, Mr. Kevin Rogers. And we're looking forward to, working with him. I think that would be, he's very ambitious. He's excited about his tournament. He'll be working over there with our IKF representative, Mr. Mike Ely. So that should be a lot of fun. I see some nice registrations coming in for that too. I do see Mr. JT Smith in the lobby there and all, and so that's a great thing. But that tournament tomorrow, register. Actually, it's not tomorrow. That tournament is actually on Sunday. On Sunday at the Armory there. Mr. Mike Ely is the rep, and Mr. Casey Rogers will be putting that on. More information is on our platform at IKFFightPlatform.com, and that's in fact for all of our events. Be sure to check them out. We have a lot going on across the country, and we hope that you guys will go and actually just check out. Hey, another little quick note too, though, before I move on with our chat. I don't like to say necessarily an interview. It's more of a chat there. They have the Muay Thai Purist tournament coming up in Reno, Nevada next weekend. It is a full rule tournament. I mean, elbows and everything. We did that there last year. I think it with one of the ex-Legion Sports Expos. A lot of fun, man. Guys show up. Great fights, great matchup. Mr. Ryan Hodges with his Muay Thai Purist will be putting that on. They also have a Point Muay Thai kickboxing tournament going on there as well. That's in Reno, and I think that is at the convention center there and all. But you can go on the platform and also see a little bit more about that event as well, IKFFightPlatform.com. As you guys definitely know for sure, what's coming up in a few weeks now is getting closer and closer and closer. It's obviously our IKF Fall Classic that will be held at the Harris Cherokee Casino in Cherokee, North Carolina. Now, I'm really excited about that event. We have like 16 super fights that's going to be happening that night. Great card. Mr. Anthony Bowie did a great job in putting that card together and all. And we hope that you will come out and buy tickets. You can scan that QR code right there on the screen for the event. We do have a partnership with Harris Casino. We will be doing events there all next year. In fact, I just signed, I think, the final contract for all of our events next year. It's about 5 events. Now, there's a reason for that. This is what's going on. A lot of people wonder, okay, why so aggressive in doing events? Well, One reason is because I think this area is not doing the events, as many events as they should. I think that we can do a lot more to grow our sport. I have an agenda. I do. My agenda is to try to find the next recognizable champions, and that is in amateurs and pros. So we're inviting all trainers with that special fighter. We don't need all your fighters, but with that special fighter who you think could be a world champion, that's who we're looking for. And we're willing to build them up from scratch, or build them up from the mediocre stage, or if they already have some fights, or if they're already a top fighter and just can't seem to, get that right support. What we're asking for is that fighter and your support, your gym support, their support, their family members, etc., to come out and support that fighter and all, and we can build them. If they are good enough, we will take them all the way to the top, all the way to a world title fight. And that is a guarantee. We have said that over and over. I've been doing that for many, many years. When I was living out in California 15 years ago, anyone who came to our events, AK Promotions, at the Doubletree, at other places all across Sacramento and places like that, they know the type of shows that we were putting on. This show will be like that show or those shows and then some. I was regularly promoting events probably every 3 months, if not more. And more sometimes, because I was doing them in different regions. Fighters were getting the recognition that they deserved. They would start from a state title and win, and then move up to the next title, the next time. That's the goal. That's what we got to build, and we got to make them recognizable champions. And why we have been interviewing them and spotlighting them and doing a lot more, you will see at the event some of the other things that we will be doing to showcase these up and coming fighters and looking for that next great champions. And this is where we talk about the certified titles. So on that weekend of October 26th and 27th, you're going to see a tournament going on. You're going to see a full contact fight night on October 26th, where there's 16 fights that are set to take place that evening. It is going to be extravagant. There's going to be more lights than you probably have ever seen, all right? Live DJ music. It is going to be a fantastic professional amateur show. However, we are planning for the pros. So I want you to get ready for that. If you have fighters that are willing and ready to step up and go to that next level, we have a place for them. And we hope that you will trust us in our promotions, in the things that we are doing to help take your fighters to that deserving magnitude. No more games. We never did games. Now we are just not waiting. We're going to go. We might not be one championship, and I'll talk to JT a little bit about that later. We might not be one yet, but I'm certainly going to be pushing hard for number 2. See, get it? We might not be one, but we want to be number 2. So anyway, guys, hope you will join in. Mr. Anthony Bowie is our coordinator for the full contact fights, the certified titles. Feel free to reach out to him on social media, on Facebook. His information is there, or on the platform, his contact information is there too. However, the IKF East Coast Classic, the registration is open right now. Get in there. There's some divisions that are still looking for fighters. Several of them are looking for fighters, or you can still open your own division until like next week. By the end of next week, we're going to stop that, and we're just going to fill up what we have, and we're just going to move forward. So go to the IKFFightPlatform.com, open up your division, or enter one of the divisions already there. And we look forward to seeing you and your team. If you have any questions, you have any issues, give me a call. Just give me a call. Let's talk about what the issues are. Let's see what might be going on, and let's see if we can help. In so many areas there, we can probably help you. But if you don't call, we don't know, so we can't help. Okay? All right, guys. Hope to see you guys at the IKF East Coast Classic and some of the other events that we have going on in the area. All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to go ahead, see can we find our next guest there. Our only guest here today, he's a gentleman that I've been knowing for quite a while. He's out of Mooresville, North Carolina. He is the one and the only Crew JT Smith. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, Johnny. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm so glad that you're able to come on today and chat a little bit about some of the things. I like to just talk. You know me, talk about things that are going on in fight sports. I think it's important. I think that, as I kind of alluded to you a little bit earlier, that I say Johnny Davis Live, real talk, real solutions, right? Because we are all, just people trying to survive in this society. What we have in common is that we love fight sports, right? We love to punch, kick, and knee, elbow people in the face, and that is something that we have in common, and certainly that is something that I want to focus on. Tell me a little bit about your club in Mooresville and the one in Lake Hickory as well.
So around 2015, my coach, Rick Davis, who's no longer with us, he passed away a couple of years ago. He retired, and I was interested in having my sons learn Muay Thai. And I had an old training partner by the name of Matt Ryder, who he had sons also, and both of us were wanting our sons to learn Muay Thai. So we just got together and started meeting in a public park here in Mooresville.
Right.
And we had equipment. This is 2016. We had equipment from 1999. Wow. And this equipment was so bad. I mean, you would hit the Thai pads. There was about that much padding in it. But we started training our kids, and then there was a couple other people that were with us. And within a couple months, we went from 5, maybe 6 people to 14 people. And then I had a friend who had told me years ago that if I ever started something in Mooresville, that he would rent me space at his CrossFit gym. And so I reached out to him and I said, "Hey, Doug, do you remember?" And he's like, "Yeah, I did say that, didn't I?" I'm
gonna hold you to that.
Yeah, it was like 10 years prior.
Oh my God!
I reached out to him and he's like, "Yeah, deal's still up." So I moved into that CrossFit gym and then really started pushing the social media, got a website. I had a guy by the name of Melbourne Wells, who's been just a tremendous amount of help with my website. And within a little over a year, we went from 14 people to 75 people. And then we were able to afford a place right here on the main highway here in Mooresville on Highway 150.
Right.
And we moved in there, and ever since we moved in there, it's just continued to grow. And, it was kind of cool because here we started off in a public park, and just a few years later, we're hosting names like Sanchai and Rod Tang and Lord Zilla. It's just
I want to ask you though, certainly want to, dive into that just a little bit, but I want to ask you about, what does it mean to you to be able to make a living at teaching your passion?
I was in a career before that it was okay. I enjoyed it, but there near the end of it, I was tired of it.
Can we just simply say it was a life and death type situation, the type of job that you did?
Yeah,
and it was very dangerous on a daily basis.
Yeah, I didn't care much for it there near the end, and I had. It was nice to be able to, and I had always wanted to teach martial arts, but just didn't see that it would ever be a possibility. And man, doors opened, and I was able to do what I love, and I'm extremely grateful and extremely thankful, and I just meet the most wonderful people doing this. Folks like you, Johnny.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. So, do you have a tactic for teaching people? Do you have a specific motto in your brain for the diverse people that come into your club and how you might approach them teaching them?
Well, I think it goes along with what you said. That's the one thing. If they come here, then they have an interest in combat sports.
Right.
And so we keep it at that. They come in and we share our interest here. And it doesn't matter where you're coming from or what your background is. You come in, you're part of our family. Right. And that it just works,
Right, for sure. You got all ages, sizes, and shapes in there, and there's definitely a nice club, and you did such a great job. Some really talented fighters in there, as well. You did mention about the seminars and things that you are bringing and have been bringing over the years. What got you into that, and what made you think that was a good idea for this area?
Because I never see it. And I mean, I hear names of people, and they'll say, "I'm bringing in such and such," and I've got to go and look those people up. The seminars that are happening, because I've never heard of them before. But if you're in the Muay Thai community, everybody knows who Rodtang is.
Right.
Everybody knows
and
who.
You brought him.
Yeah. Supergirl was my first seminar. Yes. And we were the first one in the United States to host Supergirl. She had never been here before. She's been here 3 times now.
Right.
So, she's gaining more and more popularity. And we've even had Super Lek here.
Right.
So yeah.
We just had a fantastic fight over there at One that I saw you at there, sir.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about One and what they're doing and how they are modifying traditional Muay Thai? And you can't deny that they're not modifying it, because they are.
Okay. I absolutely love what Chatri is doing. I love it. There you go. Okay. Exactly. However.
Okay, let's go. Let's go.
I'm still enjoy the more traditional things about Muay Thai.
Right. Well, there are 2 things here, right? And I've tried to explain this in conversations in the past. There is traditional Muay Thai, and then there's entertainment Muay Thai, right? And he's doing entertainment Muay Thai.
Yeah.
He's doing it right. Now, I don't necessarily care for the little gloves, right? Because they really do beat the crap out of each other with those little gloves. So it's another story, but what he's doing and the way that he's limited the clinch, right? And he's focused on striking. And in fact, giving out $50,000 bonuses to knock somebody out. Listen, you know what? When you go in the ring, JT, you're going to try to knock somebody out. Right?
Yeah.
$50,000, that is a salary for a lot of people in this country, right? Yeah. And all you got to do is train your butt off and go in there and knock people out. Well, what do you say to some people who are still kind of stuck in the mud, who enjoy One, right? But at the same time, they kind of, if it was on them, they would not do it that way.
I would say, look at what he's doing. I mean, it's working. This is our sport, and any sport is going to change. I mean, look how Muay Thai has changed over the years. It starts off as a battleground, a system on the battleground for defending yourself in hand-to-hand combat. Then over time, it evolves into a sport. Then it's put into a ring. And now look where it is now. Now we're on one champion. It's, people who talk about it not evolving. I mean, about our fear of it evolving. I mean, it's already been evolving.
Right.
It's in a concept. Who knows what it would be? There's certain things that I'm old school. I don't like seeing certain things change, but the concept of the 8 limbs is still there.
It's very, very much still there. Yeah. And so why people are hating on people also, as we transition a little bit into the PKB. So I don't know if you saw the podcast that I was on a couple of months ago. It was kind of popular. A lot of people saw it. It kind of went a little viral in our community. And if you didn't see it, I will point you to it afterwards so you can check if they still have it up. I'm not sure if they still have it up. It kind of went a little crazy. But I hope they have it up because I want people to see how it went. People who are more traditional Muay Thai people are fighting against the idea of the PKB and the PMT, point Muay Thai, point kickboxing concept. And so they say that, number one, they feel like that, all these bouts should be counted as a real fight. And I want to hear from a crew who makes his living on Muay Thai. Do you think these point sparring matches should count as a real fight? If, in other words, if they do 10 semi-contact sparring matches, they go to a tournament, then they match them up against a guy who's 10-0 in the ring. Do you think that they're equal?
That's just crazy.
No, say it stronger than that. Just say it stronger. This Johnny Davis live, real talk. I need it a little bit stronger than that, JT.
Now, as you know, when I first heard about PKBs, I was like a huge skeptic of it. When I first heard it, I was like, point Muay Thai. Oh my God, what are they doing to my sport? And then I went to see it, and I said, wow, okay, this could be something good.
Right.
As long as you keep in mind that you have two different levels of contact.
Right.
You have PKBs, which are semi-contact, which are great for people who are wanting to one day fight full contact.
Right.
You know, and if they perform in PKBs and they do poorly, then they need to stay right there.
Exactly.
I imagine I've kept a lot of people from getting hurt by keeping them in PKBs. And so it's, you know, I was one of the biggest skeptics of what you're doing. And then I saw it and opened my eyes to it, opened my mind to it. And by using your PKBs, I have been able to grow some really, really talented fighters. And I mean,
hold on one second, JT. That's clearly, I clearly need to pay you for that endorsement.
I promise, I'm not getting anything from this. I'm just a guy who owns a gym, and I want my people to compete. I never force them to compete, but man, it's just a nice little segue. You know, back when I used to compete, it was you're in the gym, you train, and they throw you in there, and if you're good, you're good. If you're not, it's a bad night. This is such a nice little segue to get into it. And I have seriously, Mason Ryder has gone through it. Dakota Gray went through it. Madison Reed went through it. Maddox Windett went through it. I mean, all of my children went through these PKBs, and now they're teenagers, and they are ferocious. And I contribute that back to their experiences in the PKB, because when they stepped into that ring or into that cage for the first time, it was like, well, I've done this before, but it was just easy on them. However, you know, a PKB is not a real fight.
No,
it's a sparring session.
It's a sparring competition.
Competition. Right. And anybody who thinks it's a real fight needs to do it, and then they will see the difference between. I know you know the difference between semi-contact and full contact.
Of course. And you know, and that's the whole idea. And to try to argue that with me is asinine. That's what it is. And so that is why I stand so strong in my belief. But unfortunately, some of these organizations are attacking, that's what I call it, attacking trainers at their events, essentially saying, no, you better tell me if you've done a PKB because we're going to count it. It's just a matter of time before somebody gets hurt. And I've tried to warn them from a liability standpoint. They're going to make somebody fight in a division that is not ready for it. And buddy, I tell you what, the lawyers are going to come hard on that. And also, anyway, that's neither here nor there at this point, but I'm glad that you are enjoying it. Tell me a little bit about your tournament coming up on tomorrow.
Oh man, we've never had a bad tournament here. It's always been good, especially our fall tournaments. Our fall tournaments have always been nice turnouts. So we're really excited about it. It's been really interesting. I can remember the first time we did one together. And then it was a good turnout, but then the next turnout was even better. And then the next turnout, it just kept growing and growing and growing. And now it's sort of a thing. So I'm very thankful. I got gyms like Ronan over I think they're in Cleveland. I can't remember, a smaller gym, but man, they come every day, and they're an awesome. They got a great coach there, Jamie Hendricks, Andrea. They come regularly. There's a lot of good teams that are involved, and it's nice to, it's competition, but we're all friends, and that's what I like about it.
Yes, it's about fairness and camaraderie and all those things, and I think that is what's truly important. And what we're trying to, explain to people and show people that it's not just people coming out there trying to beat the crap out of one another. It's a community that we have there that is growing the sport. I mean, last year when I spoke at the ABC Commission in Las Vegas at the Mirage Hotel, one of my presentations, the bullet point presentation I did, was about the resurgence of the sport of Muay Thai and kickboxing. I believe it's really contributed that the PKB has really, the concept has contributed. We're not the only ones doing it now. Back then, no one else would touch it, right? But now everybody and their grandmother's doing some type of semi-contact because they see that it works. And as you alluded to already, your fighters are now fighting in other people's events, right? And enhancing their shows and making their shows even better. And I'm not mad at that because I predicted this when I started it over like 25 some years ago. And that is the cross I have to bear. I will be very honest with you. The cross I have to bear is the success of the PKB concept and everybody else doing it. And some people not doing it as well. Some people not having the right protocols and all. I don't like that, but they're still doing it. People are getting some level of experience. And so it's helping the sport grow. And so I just cannot look over the fact that it's an overall good thing. And sometimes you just can't have it all. You can't. If something is really good, it's like the cell phone, right? You know what I'm saying? And, you know, somebody created, but now you got 10 different companies that do cell phones. It's just kind of the way it is because it is a good thing. In your club, I know that you constantly teach about respect and about, you know, dignity and those type of things. Are those core things that go on in your club that you teach? Because a lot of MMA, I don't know if MMA teaches that, to be honest with you. I've never been in an MMA class. I came up in a traditional karate class. When I taught kickboxing, I had like these principles that were in my club about how to, you know, live a good life, you know, be respectful and, you know, have dignity and all of those other things. Are those things core values in your club?
We try to pass those things on to our members. You know, I think the thing about those core values is you have to live it. You can't just get in there and say it. You have to live it, because particularly when it comes to our children's classes, they're watching, man. Everything you do, they got their eyes on you.
Yeah.
If you don't do if you do something that's kind of questionable, they catch on to it. So I think it's important to reemphasize that to them about dignity. Our tenets are courtesy, integrity, perseverance, and self-control, and we reinforce that every single class. But we also have to live it. We can't just
that's interesting to me, JT, because you know, obviously the vitriol that's going on in our community, our society right now. There's so much, you know, so much hate talk and hate speech and, you know, name calling and all of these things that are going on. As a martial artist, right? What would be your suggestion and how we can perhaps reduce some of the hate speech and the things that are going on that are dividing our country as a martial artist? And I want to be very clear on when I say this, because on social media, I see different groups passing along, red attacking blue and blue attacking red, and everybody's, you know, just feeling like they can do a free-for-all with insults. I want to ask you, as a martial artist, as someone in a disciplined art, what is it that we can do better as a society to try to unite people as opposed to separating us?
Well, I think we all have our core values, and there's certain things that we don't bend on. Like I'm sure you have certain things. Johnny lives this way, and he's not going to change the way he lives. And I live the same way. I live my way. I have my beliefs. My beliefs don't change, and that's fine. But I think that we just have to, you know, realize that we're, you know, as far as our country and all, we're all here together, and we got to, you know, I believe in love your neighbor, you know.
So when we talk about, you know, you mentioned the word country, so let's go there for a minute, right? You know, when we talk about this country, is it not true that most of us want safe neighborhoods, nice schools, want some money in our pockets, you know, to be able to take care of our families, and, you know, set the highest examples of morality so that as we can teach our kids to try to have that type of life as well? Would you say that was one of the key things or common things or things Americans in this case have in common, is that we ideally want the same thing?
I think the majority of us do, but you know as well as I do, there's going to be factions of people who are split in on. I guess I'll have to use the words right and left. There's going to be people who are very far to the right and very far to the left, but I think the majority of us are
Somewhere in the middle.
a little bit closer than what you think.
No, what I think is that we are that much closer, right? Because that is the whole thing that I'm trying to message here. And when I say my Johnny Davis Live real talk, right, and real solutions, is that I think that we are closer and we have more in common than we don't. But it seems like when you look at the news and you look at sometimes what's going on in society, it seems like, oh my God, we are living in two different worlds. It's like we're living in two different countries. Why is that, do you think? What do you think are some of the rudimentary causes of this division that seems to be going on, and particularly when it gets close to an election, an election period?
I think, man, I think there's a lot of stress on everybody right now as far as the direction that we're going as a people. I think our ideas as far as what the country should be like we're very divided in that area, but we're still unified as a people. But though,
are we unified? Are we really unified as a people? Are we really, coming together for the right causes? When you say, what is your idea of unification as a people? I just want to get, and listen, by the way, we don't argue on Johnny Davis Live. No need to argue. We talk.
No.
I want to ask your idea of what you consider unified.
Well, I guess what I'm saying is we're all on this boat together.
Yes, we are.
And the direction of that is the one thing that we have in common. We're all here. Now, the direction that boat takes is where we're having our conflicts.
It is true, but we've been in this country for a lot of years. All of us, some had to fight a little bit harder to get the freedoms that we enjoy today, and that's a fact. But it seems that we want the same, but we somehow perhaps see different direction. And it's okay to have different ideas about how to get there. But what I'm feeling though, this seems like a very pivotal part. I agree. I am 62 years old, right? And I've seen election after election after election. I've seen things happen, all the way back. Obviously, I was born during the civil rights movement and stuff like that, but I was not, didn't know what was really going on, coming up through all of these other eras and things that happened. It seems to be something else going on right now in our society. And I'm just a little more concerned about, it seems like there's some type of reckoning that's starting to happen in our society. And it's on both sides. So do you have any idea, first of all, how we might have gotten here?
I think maybe over the years, maybe we did not put the right people in place to steer the ship, if you will. Okay. And you have to remember at what point in your life, you've been around on this rock a lot longer than I have. Okay, maybe not a lot longer.
Long enough, yes.
When in your life were we trillions of dollars in debt as a country? And I'm not blaming a person or a party or anything like that, but I think we're in a place that we're in uncharted territory as a people, and I think that that contributes to the stress.
Let's ride on that one piece right there just for a moment. Let's just ride on that, right? Economics. Right. So in a society that we live in, right? Is it more about economics or civility? So is it more about whether we have a ton of money, right, or whether we're in debt, as long as we are able to eat and buy food, and some people aren't or not, and that's always been the case. That always probably will be the case. Or are we okay with people not being able to hardly walk the street, not being able to be who they are, not love who they want, and things like that, and not be discriminated against? So I'm trying to see if there's a balance here. Which one do we want, right? We can probably have both, but it seems to be a little tilted in everybody talks about economics. Everybody's talking about people who are coming here, da 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 da. I mean, all of these things has to be fixed over time. But do we want a community where we can't walk out into our neighborhoods and say hello to our neighbors and have a conversation? Do we want a society or a city that we can't walk downtown and enjoy whatever we want to on the streets? I mean, so what is the balance here? Is it all about economics? Is because I'm doing okay, I don't care about you? Or should there be a little bit more of a balance?
I think there's definitely a balance there, but I think you know as well as I do, when you hit hard times and the stress is on you, it changes anybody's attitude. The nicest person around, when it comes time to feed your family, you're going to make sure your kids get fed.
Well, yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so I think kindness is important, but being able to provide is also important.
It's very important. I think that listen, I'm going to be very honest. I mean, you alluded to earlier how great your school is doing. I've been in your area before. I've driven by your club. And I tell you one thing, you need a bigger place. You need a bigger place. There's a lot of people there. It does not look, and martial arts is not a priority. In other words, you're going to pay your light bill, you're going to pay your water bill, you're going to buy your food. Martial arts is somewhere down probably 8th, 9th, or 10th, right? So your club is packed beyond packed. And you've had many conversations with me that Johnny is just really, wow, I can't hardly keep up. I see that with so many clubs going on right now. I see that. So the economy can't be that bad if these people are affording these classes. So I'm trying to just get a balance of when I see comments on social media talking about how bad, and when we talk about making a country that I consider already pretty great, pretty good, right? I do. Now, me, in this country, that I had to fight for everything to be even who I am today, that I think this country is indeed the greatest country in the world. But when I hear some people talking, it is like something so bad that we are just a gutter, a country. And that is the part that I'm trying to get out here. I'm trying to figure out, what am I missing? Because I love people. I love JT. I love your family. I love your people and everything. And so I'm just trying to figure out, why do I see this world so beautiful and so many nice people doing great things, and others see it as it's the worst place in the world? Can you help me?
Yeah, I think a lot of it has to do with your success. Johnny's not trying to barely get by. Johnny's doing pretty good. Other
but
people,
you're also successful. But
I think where you may be making an error here is, I agree with you that this is the best country in the world. There's a reason why so many people are jumping across the border to come here. It's a great place.
For sure. And that needs to be resolved, by the way.
It's not the country, it's the folks that are leading the country.
Okay.
That's where the problem is. We can talk about the economy, but gas prices are the same. They're still going up. And if you go to the grocery store, it's not getting any better.
A lot of factors there. A lot of factors.
Yeah. So, I think we can agree that it's a great place to live, but it's got its issues. And
how much of this do you think is about just fear?
A lot.
I understand. I understand a lot of it, right? Yeah, it's about fear, and xenophobia is like the fear of foreigners, right? It's a real thing, and people being, comfortable with each other. It's a real thing, and that those phobias that we have. I think all of us need some type of psychiatric therapy, to sit down and stuff. And and I would love to have a situation where, and I almost say, man, I wish I could just bring a bunch of people together and have some real talk, right? Not argue, not fuss. Good people like myself and good people like you, right, who can have a conversation without being mad. You and I tomorrow are going to have a great time at the tournament, right?
Yeah.
But we can have a conversation. And that is what I want. I don't want people, calling names and, and, oh, you a piece of crap because of your ideas and your thoughts. I want, if we're going to run, it's like a fight, right? Let's think about this and we're talking about, since it's a fighting kind of show, it's like a fight. We go in there in the fight and we try to beat the crap out of each other, not so much in PKBs, but in full contact, right? Yeah. And at the end of it, we're bowing, we're showing respect and all that, and everybody's hugging, everything is good, right? Yeah. If indeed that could be the case during this, political climate, that would be awesome. But unfortunately, it seems to linger.
Yeah.
It seems to linger that we still have all this tension after. Can we make it more like a real fight, like us, like what we do? What are your thoughts on that, JT?
Man, I tell you what, I was, as you were talking, I was thinking, my gym, and I'm sure other gyms are the same way. We have people coming in here from all over,
right.
all over. I have Christians, I have Muslims, I have Buddhists, I have Hindu, I've got black, white, brown.
Yeah.
It is such a conglomeration of so many different cultures and so many different religions and so many different beliefs, but so many different political views, But what happens is when they come to the gym, all that stuff's left at the door.
That is my point.
You come in and you're, for that, 2 hours that you're here together, you're just, you got a Christian and a Muslim working back and forth, and they're bobbing each other. And
that is my point, JT. That is my whole point.
Right.
What happens to us when we walk outside of that gym? It's like I see some instructors and trainers virtual. They're on there, man. They're typing. They're being nasty because of their political belief. And I'm asking myself, when you are insulting so many people, but on the days of class and at the end of the month when your money's coming in, it doesn't have a color on it. It doesn't have a political standing on it. It doesn't have a religion on it. It's green, right? And you're able to spend. I don't understand. This is what I'm trying to get here as martial artists. Let's talk about us as martial artists. What are we missing here that we cannot separate those two things? Because listen, that's why you won't see ideally me posting stuff politically on my sites and stuff. On my show, as I told you, I'll go anywhere on my show, anywhere you want to talk about it. But you don't see me, Johnny Davis, I'm one of the heads of IKF and my organization, talking about my affiliation. And I'm not going to do that because at that tournament tomorrow in Mooresville, right, the PKB, there's going to be people from every background there, right? And I don't want people thinking I have some, problem with them because of red, blue, religion, their sexuality, or anything. All I want to know is how you're going to punch and kick people in the face. And now listen.
You're not going to go too hard.
Right, but not too hard. But that's my point. And this is what I'm trying to pass on to our community, especially some of those people who are promoters and, all the way at the top, that one organization, and who are just putting that out there. I'm trying to figure out, how can someone feel comfortable in that type of house where they're going to get fair treatment? Yeah. If they're thinking that you are so about something else and not about the sport.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. I mean, there has to be a balance there. I mean, people need to know where you stand, but you still have to have kindness about you.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they have to know, right, right. It's important. I think they know, where you stand. I had a situation here, and I kind of like off the beaten path just the other night where a fighter was accidentally kneed in the head. Now, this trainer and I had our differences, right? To be very honest with you, we've had our differences, but sitting there at ringside watching this accidental knee to the head at this event, what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to say, oh, no, it was a legal knee. It was said that we do knees to the head now. It's okay in amateurs and all. And this guy got knocked out. And so just because I don't necessarily, we're not in the best terms right now, your guy loses. You think I did that? Absolutely not. I went and fought. Against everybody, said, no, then he hit him in the chest and hit him right in the chin and knocked him out. That is a foul, right? And I fought for it. So this is my point. I want people to know who I am. So, and when it comes to ruling, regardless of politics or anything else, why, my question to you, and as we close out here, how, number one, does a trainer who trains all these people from all backgrounds that you just mentioned, how can they on the other side have like another life, right? Well, everybody can see it, especially on social media, and write these negative things about a group of people not knowing if some of those students are paying you every month. How is that? How can they do that? Can you give me some idea?
I don't know. Like I said, I think the community needs to know where you stand, but it has to be done in kindness. And I've had to, I'm familiar with the folks that you're talking about, and I finally just had to start disconnecting myself. One of my problems is I'll get engaged with someone, and it's like, what am I doing? Like, I'm not changing anything. They're not going to change their mind.
Nope.
I'm not going to change my mind.
Nope.
All we're doing is just going back and forth, wasting a lot of time. Yes. I could be somewhere making money.
Yes.
And so
yes. That is exactly my point. I want us. That's why I don't allow attire and all that political stuff at our events. I don't want to see that. Don't want to see it. I want people to come there and have a good time. And see who's punching and kicking people in the face. That's what I'm talking about.
I think the tournament ought to be just like the gym, except it's a whole community of different gyms coming in and having a good time.
If I'm there, it's going to be that way. Believe that, because that's what I'm going to put forward and everything like that. Invite people to come out to the event tomorrow. Tell them about who, what, when, and where, JT.
Man, I'm really excited about this particular tournament because one thing you didn't mention, but I'm going to mention it.
Yes.
We are, this is the first tournament where we are going to be donating some of the proceeds to a great organization called Parkinson's of the Carolinas. And folks that are not familiar with my club, when we are not doing Muay Thai or training Muay Thai, I am really big into the Parkinson's world of helping people with Parkinson's disease. And I do it through Muay Thai and boxing, because boxing and Muay Thai are been proven as an effective way. And I'm talking non-contact. I'm talking hitting the speed bag, hitting the bag. Doing boxing exercises are very therapeutic for people with Parkinson's. When you learn that what we are doing is actually therapy for a certain segment of the population, it's very rewarding. I've got a lot of people here who have Parkinson's disease, and we are improving their lives and improving their quality of life and keeping them alive. And so anyway, I'm really big in the Parkinson's community, and some of our proceeds is going to be going to Parkinson's of the Carolinas. And I know I'm really excited about that. And we're going to be helping this organization. They're very big in helping provide different types of programs for helping people who have this horrible disease. And so great organization. I encourage everybody to look them up, like them, follow them. Parkinson's of the Carolinas, they are doing amazing things.
Yes.
For the people who are in the Parkinson's community. So.
Absolutely excited about helping out that great organization. As you know that my wife and I deal with Alzheimer's and dementia. We're very, 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 very involved in that area and everything. So helping out the Parkinson's disease, which is kind of akin to it, is so important and everything. But JT, let me just first say to everybody that I love this man. He's a good guy. Wow. He's a good guy. We've been getting along and been dealing and working together for a long time. He's a man of his word. He's had other opportunities to jump ship, right? And to try to do some other things. But we've had things going on right around it. He said, well, that's them. This is us. I mean, and still support them, and all that and all. And we still have a great relationship. So, brother, I just wanted to say I appreciate you and all, and looking forward to hanging out tomorrow and going from there.
I love working with you, John. I'm going to say one more thing about you. Okay? I want everybody to know this. When I brought up the idea of donating to Parkinson's of the Carolina, Johnny was like, "Yep, we should do that," and there was no question about it. It was just he just jumped right on board. And man, I think that says a lot about you as a person.
Thank you.
You are a tough guy, but you got a heart of gold, Johnny, and I appreciate you.
Thank you very much. Well, like I said, I do feel I believe in helping people. People don't know actually how much I do help people, but I enjoy helping people. I want to keep working hard so I can have things and really, 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 really help people even more. My heart and my soul. If I want to be that multi-millionaire, I'm gonna be smart about it, but at the same time, I am going to help a lot of people, and that I give my word to the world on that one. Mr. JT Smith, Lake Norman Muay Thai, thanks so much for being on the show today, sir. We'll talk to you soon.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you, sir.
Right, have a good weekend.
All right, Mr. JT Smith there. Always a pleasure talking to that. I say that young man because I'm older. He's a great guy, and I enjoy talking to people like that and making sure that, we're always on the same page. We're always taking each other's temperature, if you will, to discuss. Listen, if you want to know more about what we're doing, check it out on our iCareFightPlatform.com. If you want to enter the tournament tomorrow, show up about 8:30, 9 o'clock at the door. Spectators should show up around noon and all. We're going to have a lot of great action going on there at the Talbot Recreation Center in Mooresville, North Carolina. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching yet another edition of Johnny Davis Live. Always respect each other. This is Johnny Davis Live, and I'm checking out. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.